Totino-Grace High School for Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball. It's a rare Monday night battle tonight. The Armstrong Falcons and the Totino-Grace Eagles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Patty Sorensen. And Patty, second meeting of the season between these two teams. Kind of a measuring stick to tell, how much have we improved since that first time around. We saw Armstrong a couple weeks ago, and their coach Antoine Easley says been playing a little bit better since then, and he feels, that a little optimistic about what they've been doing lately.
Well, yeah, I think that's the key. They've seen each other earlier on, and now, what did we learn from that? We are improving. We have progressed as we've gone along. Now, what are we going to bring to the table? What adjustments are we going to make, and how are we going to attack tonight differently?
Totino-Grace, a victory over Armstrong the first time around. They're just slightly over 500. Their head coach tonight, Patrick Boland, is out ill, so the assistants will be kind of taking over. Might make a little bit of a difference. Obviously, they've been around the team, but something that they'll have to adjust to a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's always a little bit of difference, but I am sure that the players, they're totally comfortable with their assistant coaches, and as a former head coach, you prepare, and you know that when you leave them in good hands if you can't make it to a good game. So I think they're just going to step up.
Let's talk about key players to look at in this one. Certainly for Armstrong, the player that other teams all know about, even though she's a young player, ninth grader Savannah McGowan. Boy, she was really good against Osseo when we saw them 2 weeks ago.
She is. You look at her as a ninth grader, and we talked earlier, she's going to keep growing, but whatever she's going to do, she's comfortable with her body. She can play, she can attack, she can rebound. She doesn't play like a freshman, if you can even say that anymore with how many freshmen are out there playing, but a fun player to watch.
And for Totino-Grace, a player who just recently became their career scoring leader, certainly the go-to player for them. She'll handle the ball a lot and shoot the ball well, Carla Meyer.
Yeah, I think she's an exciting player for them. She's their go-to player. They feel that she's even developed and her game has gotten better. She's a good outside shooter, but she's even done better by attacking and getting to the rim. And like she said, they look to her as their go-to player, and all the kids respond well to that.
All right, it's parents' night here at Totino-Grace as well, so obviously the Eagles want to show up well for their parents here this evening. Armstrong would love to pull off an upset here on the road. It's the Falcons and the Eagles, a battle of the birds up next year on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Totino-Grace High School as we get set for girls basketball action between Armstrong and Grace. And joining us courtside once again this evening is Allie Mosley. Let's go to Allie.
Hey, Jay, 18 games ago in the very first game of the season, Armstrong lost one of their starters, E. Bailey, to a foot fracture. She's been out for almost 2 months recovering from that fracture, but over the last few games, they've been easing her back in. Tonight, though, she's going to see more of her first full-time minutes being back to pretty much almost healthy, which is huge for the Falcons because Coach Easley said she provides a great second inside presence, especially with how physical of a player she is. But more than that, Coach Easley says she is one of the best leaders on the team. He said that when she returned just a few games ago, the entire bench erupted into such cheers, he looked to the side and thought somebody famous had to have walked into the gym. It is that evident that she means that much to this team, and if you don't believe it, just watch what she's going to do out on the court with her team tonight.
Thanks, Allie, and you always like to see when somebody's able to get back and get back into playing after, you just really feel for any high school athlete. You work so hard to get to the point when you're, on the varsity court and doing some things and then to get injured. And good to see her working back. And obviously, it's tough. You feel like you're behind. Like the rest of the team is in a flow and they're conditioned and they're sharp and all of that. And to try and, get back into that, I'm sure, is a difficult thing, but she's doing her best to work her way in.
You're right. I think for some kids it is difficult, and some of your best players, when they take advantage of that time on the sidelines, they get to see and learn from a whole different perspective. So it's always fun to see what they gained and learned from that time on the bench. and when they bring it back to the court, the different perspective they've gained.
And let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's game, starting with the visiting Falcons. You see Bailey was announced as the starter there, along with Alexa Parsons, Savannah McGowan, Jessica Hanley, and Carly Fisher. And for Totino-Grace, as we said, Cassie Pauley running the show tonight with Patrick Boland home ill. They've got Carla Meyer, Grace Sickink, Anna Kaspers, Leah Dangerud, and Maria Hall in the starting lineup. A little bit more experience for Totino-Grace, although they've got a little bit of youth as well with the sophomore Dangerud as part of their starting unit, but overall a bit of an older team maybe than what Armstrong puts out there. And so, you're closer to being a polished, finished project, I would say, and that's, kind of bearing out in the records that we're seeing for the teams this year.
Yeah, I agree, and I think what's going to happen tonight is, like we talked earlier too, the head coach is out ill, and you've got new staff taking over as far as game time, but they run practices a lot. They like how the kids play. They stick to their game plans, and I think that expectation is going to be carried out.
Do you have that situation much, Patty? Did you ever miss a game when you were the head coach, or the other way around, have to fill in?
No, you know what? I filled in at one time when I first started coaching for a JV coach, but the head coach, no, and I was lucky enough, knock on wood, that I didn't miss any games. It's a couple times I maybe missed a practice or two, but we were there for game time.
And Bailey controls the opening tip. Armstrong has first possession here as Jessica Hanley works her way into the front court. Eagles will play some varying defenses, some man-to-man and some zone. They used a lot of 1-3-1 against Armstrong the first time around, and they're obviously conscious of McGowan. Into Bailey and back out to Hanley. And ball juggled there. Fisher trying to get it back is going to be whistled for a foul, I believe.
Well,
they're going to be against Fisher of Armstrong.
I think when Armstrong is going to try and work, now that they have Bailey back, they're going to try and work a little more in and out a little bit with the two bigs and see if they can add another component to the game there.
Here's Meyer with it, down to Sickink and back to Meyer as Armstrong starting in his zone defense here. Kaspers reaches and swings it around. Meyer will let it fly from the top of the key, and that one's off target. Bailey swats it out, and Parsons will run it down.
And that's one of the things Coach Easley had said, that Totino has some outside shooters, and that's one of the things they got to look to contain.
There's a look at Antoine Easley, the Falcons head coach. Meyer, turnaround. Bailey got a piece of it, and then McGowan rebounds. Here's Fisher looking up court. Hanley dumping it down low. Bailey and back out. Fisher at the baseline, trying to throw it over to Hanley. Nice catch here. And then that pass hit a foot as she tried to bounce it across to Bailey.
I think there was a couple times they had a couple opportunities there they could have put a shot in. I know they're trying to get Bailey involved right away, but I think they got to realize too they get their shot, and that'll open up more opportunities for her too.
Down low, here's McGowan attacking, and she will head to the free throw line. And early opportunity at the stripe here for McGowan as she looks to break the deadlock here. We've played just about a minute with neither team scoring up to this point, and we'll see if Savannah can change that up. Free throw is good. She's about a 68% free thrower on the year. So good, not great. Like that a little higher, but not bad.
Yeah, you want your posts to be up there because you are going to be anticipated to be at the free throw line, you would think a little more.
Hall giving it over. Meyer drops it off to Dengerud, and here's Meyer. Work it around quickly. Dengerud just shoot it up there, no good. And knocked out of bounds by Armstrong. It will be Totino-Grace ball underneath. Meyer will trigger it in here for the Eagles. Dengerud steps in a little closer there, no good, and Bailey the board. Fisher gets it back from Parsons here. McGowan puts it on the deck out high. Here's McGowan attacking down the baseline. No good with that one, and rebound grabbed by Dengerud for Totino-Grace. Here's Meyer. Jabbed away by McGowan, and Armstrong's defense giving the Eagles a little bit of trouble in the early going here. They haven't really gotten a lot of good looks.
No, Armstrong's done a good job of shifting on their zone defense, getting out there, putting a little pressure on the ball.
Baseline Sickink, and now we'll swing it for an open look there, but it won't fall for Leah Dengerud, and going to be Armstrong basketball there as the officials look at each other and confer. Ariana LaPanta checking in here for the Eagles. One of their captains coming in off the bench here early in the contest for Grace. 2-0 Armstrong. A pair of Savannah McGowan free throws is all we've had. No baskets for either team here. Played about 3 minutes. Fisher looking to McGowan, turns and fires, and that one's way too strong. Here comes Meyer. Dengerud from the top of the key, got a good look that time, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Fisher as she had to battle with Hall and knocked it away from Hall, taking away a scoring chance, but it will be Grace ball. Here's Hall taking the inbound pass, missed that one, batted around and controlled by Hanley. Hanley looking to drive it all the way. Too hard with the layup, though, and rebound the other way for Dengerud.
Totino is getting some shots that they want. They just are not dropping for them.
And this one will drop. Leah Dengerud buries a three. First basket for either team, and it's 3-2 Eagles.
I think that's exactly what Leah needed. I mean, she'd taken a couple good shots. They weren't bad shots she'd taken before. They just didn't drop, and this will get the confidence back.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of moving the ball quickly side to side. Oops, Bailey wasn't looking and hit her in the shoulder. Meyer splitting defenders and was fouled. Good idea there by Meyer. She knew that she wanted to go quick with that ball before the D could really get set. And it'll be Hanley picking up the foul. Subbing in for the Eagles, Annie Mraz, number 10. And for Armstrong, Ava Brigham, number 11, coming in. Dengerud dropping it off to Hall. Nice move to the hoop and scores.
She did a great job of stepping in there and splitting the defense to lay that one up there.
And it looks like the Eagles maybe have gotten the message that be willing to attack those seams a little bit. We don't have to, we're a good shooting team, but we don't have to settle for threes all the time here.
And we're seeing a little bit out of the Eagles right now of what Coach said that they were going to do. They're going to switch up their defenses, and that's exactly what they've done now again.
Brigham, the miss after the outside jumper wouldn't fall. And Meyer into the front court here. Cut off at the baseline, goes back out to LaPanta. Meyer will bring it back out top, looking like a man-to-man now for Armstrong. Little interchange there, and the jumper is good for three more for Dengerud. They just were a little slow getting through that pick.
That was just a very pretty shot.
So an 8-2 lead now for Grace after Armstrong had the early free throws. Layup try won't go inside, but good hustle to try and get it back there for Brigham, and it will stay Armstrong ball. So she's had a couple of good looks on the inside, but not able to finish. Lauren Miller, number 1, comes in for Totino-Grace. Bailey will come back in for Armstrong. McGowan's going to get an early breather here. Well, obviously, you know, you like having Bailey and McGowan in there together too, but it also gives them a chance to sub for each other and still have somebody big out there.
Exactly, and it's been fun watching Bailey come back and board and rebound, and you're right, it gives them a bonus that way also.
This foul will go against Hall, and that is the first on her, and second on the Eagles. And Bailey's free throw is off. No. And we had a violation on the shooter there. Wouldn't have counted even had it gone in.
She just has to, it's going to take her a little bit, but you know, this is what, her 3rd game back after missing 2 months of ball. It takes her a little time to get back into her rhythm. She's a ball player and she'll get there. She just has to be patient with herself.
Mraz giving it up to Miller here. Now Meyer, who hasn't gotten any looks really to speak of in the early going here. Now she'll get a jumper, and that's an air ball. Bailey rebounds. Fisher in there for Armstrong now. Megan Bugan, number 3. And that one is banked home by Brigham. I don't know that she called glass on that one, but it'll count the same.
Key to that was they had some good ball rotation out there. They were moving the ball and they weren't standing still.
So first field goal of the game actually for Armstrong there, and it comes 6.5 minutes in. Sicking coming back into the lineup here for the Eagles. LaPanta cutting free and lays it in. Did a nice job of setting up the defender there. Fisher got screened and LaPanta open for 2. Reverse try there for Hanley won't go, and we get a foul on Grace as Bailey was going up to try and corral that rebound and was bumped into there by Mraz.
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic in there that time, that's for sure.
There you see, you might hear her broadcast the Wild games on occasion, a Grace alum and a proud dad here of some Eagles athletes, including one out there now, Ariana. And that one from Fisher blocked. Follow-up try won't go. Here's Bailey. She scores and a foul. So Armstrong hitting the offensive glass hard here as Sicking will pick up the foul.
Boy, and I'm sure Sicking's thinking, I was just standing straight up. She looked pretty good right there.
And once again, a violation on the free throw attempt. So it'll stay at 10-6 here as coming back in is Dengerud for Totino-Grace. Armstrong setting up full court here, or 3/4 court, looking to trap. Down low they go. Mraz is open for the layup. So nice job by the Eagles of being patient and attacking that pressure and getting a bucket out of it.
Well, they did a great job of just backing, having a lateral person back there with you, your leg guard, and moving the ball.
McGowan's shot no good. There's Bailey, though, to clean it up.
You get McGowan and Bailey out there, and you've got a rebounding duel right now.
Meyer, the scoop shot is off the bottom of the backboard. Sicking kicks it back out. Meyer will give it up to Miller, and that 3 is way off. Sicking runs it down, though, and the Eagles will get another opportunity at it. Armstrong's got a little bit of length, and I think a couple of those shots have been bothered. They think they're feeling open, and then they get a hand up on them and can make it tough. Meyer dumping it inside. Nice feed to Sicking.
Nice job. You know, both teams are being patient right now. They're both working the ball. They're getting some good looks.
Fisher for Bugan. Now Bailey, a little high-low action down to McGowan for the layup.
You get Bailey healthy and you get that going, and you're going to see a lot of that, and that's going to help Armstrong a lot.
Boy, it hasn't taken long for our summary to be proven right that Bailey was going to help them coming back to the lineup, right?
Exactly.
Nice runner there by Carla Meyer as she finally gets her first bucket. Averages 14.5 per game. As we said, the all-time scoring leader now for Totino-Grace. Fisher looking to McGowan. All the way around. Ella Brignoli is in there now and puts that shot up. No good. Guess who? Bailey with the board and scores. Bailey's third basket here in the first half.
Well, and both the Totino girls did a great job in there, and Bailey just went and mustered it up and was able to finish it off.
A little more size returning now for Grace as they bring Hall and Kaspers back in, who aren't, by today's standards, not real big, but at 5'8", they can give them a little bit more rebounding presence maybe on that front line to help Sickink out.
Exactly. They need to just get on the boards, and they need to figure out a way to keep Bailey off of them right now.
1-3-1 zone here for the Eagles again. Here's McGowan attacking, scores, plus a foul. As the defense, I think, thought they kind of had her surrounded and sort of backed off, and she did a nice job. A little bit of a pass fake and then just took it right at the hoop.
Yeah, she took advantage of that opening right there, just attacked the seam and was able to lay it up and in.
Going to be number 2 on Grace Sickink as well, so something to maybe keep an eye on as McGowan gets the free throw to crawl around and in. So she now has 7 points. Brigham coming back in for Armstrong, and we're seeing, kind of like when we saw Osseo Armstrong a couple weeks ago, we saw that pretty much every whistle here for one team or the other. 1 point lead for Totino-Grace.
Armstrong's applying some pretty good ball pressure right now, and it's making him rush a little bit. But there you go. Rush a little bit, that paid off for Totino.
Third three by Dangerud already in the half. That jumper short there. Going to be out of bounds, though, off of Totino-Grace as Sammy Schutz. There's a look at Cassie Pauley, acting head coach for tonight's game. Second year with their program, a former St. Ben's player, and played down at Casson Manorville. And Caroline Rosso also kind of helping out a co-coach almost tonight here. She's their JV head coach.
Well, and I believe a former alum of Totino also.
There's McGowan scoring inside and her third basket. So the inside game has been there for Armstrong. Bailey and McGowan each with 3 field goals. And the Falcons within 2. They lost by 16 when they played Grace the first time around. Approaching 7.5 minutes to play in this first half. Meyer drops it to the baseline. And a nice drive and finish there by Anna Kaspers, getting her first basket. So all 5 Eagles starters have scored now, and they lead by 4. Little runner here by Brignoli will drop. Flipped that one up on the run and got a kind bounce. So a 2-point lead for the Eagles as that pass is tipped out of bounds, and Bailey will come back in.
Totino had the right idea right there. They were transitioning, and she had a player cutting. Armstrong did a good job of recovering back and being able to deflect the ball.
Meyer gives it back. A 3 attempt there. Won't go for Schutz. And from the corner, won't drop for Parsons. Knocked out of bounds by Grace. And again, they're finding it easier said than done to block Euphemia Bailey out, as she has been able to, if not, outright grab the rebound, at least keep it alive.
She's been fun to watch in there. She's aggressive and she's everywhere right now.
Well, we remind you of our CCX Sports Play of the Week, which is brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. As each Monday we give you 4 plays to vote on and a week's worth of votes, and we've had some great response here this winter, and we thank Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove for sponsoring the CCX Sports Play of the Week, and we invite you to give it a go every week. There's some good ones. Obviously the winter season has a lot of great basketball and hockey, and more beyond that too, with gymnastics and wrestling and swimming and skiing. Got some section meets coming up for Nordic skiing this week. Armstrong has had some really good Nordic skiing in recent years. The girls, in fact, winning a couple state titles of recent seasons, and maybe not quite as strong this year, but still a team that is pretty solid in both boys and girls. So 6:48 remaining in this first half, and Totino-Grace leading it 21-19. You see they're knocked down 3 threes, all of them by Leah Dangerud. They kind of were cold early on, but they've gotten close to 50% overall shooting. Into Bailey it comes. McGowan is on the bench at the moment. Skip pass across, and the three-pointer is knocked down by Rinoli, who's come in and nailed a couple of hoops early. 22-21 Armstrong lead. Nice play off that inbound that they drew up.
You know, Coach Easley was talking about, you look at their record and whatnot, and you ask them how the team's doing and they're feeling it. And like he said, the kids are coming to practice every day and working hard and giving it their all, and you definitely see it's paying off.
Travel there on Meyer. She kind of stepped on a foot a little bit, I think, as she made her way into the lane. And see what Armstrong's done shooting in this first half. Parsons back for Hanley. And nice hands to steal it by Hall. Here come the Eagles. Kaspers to Hall and back out. We haven't really seen Grace run much. There, Coach Pauley said, we do like to push it in transition, but there's not many opportunities to do so much tonight. So they've been a half-court offense. Hanley thought she had a clean steal, but got a little body into Meyer there.
Yeah, Coach is kind of wondering about that too.
Yeah, I could have seen that one be a play on. I know Meyer ended up on the ground, and maybe there was a little bit of a bump, but it felt like she had already stolen the ball by that. Yeah.
Oh, she did, yeah.
Inside it comes. McGowan with the block there on Megan Schaefer. Schlafer, that is. So Armstrong continues to hold a 1-point lead. McGowan back out top and around to Hanley. Fisher will swing it way across. Oh. And that one went in, but it will not count. I think we have an illegal screen. Going to be on McGowan. They've gone to that a couple times where they're screening for that and to allow the cross-court pass. But that time McGowan got out illegally.
You get there a little late or you get too far behind.
And let's be honest, on a lot of the plays like that, it's a matter of what they see or don't see too. I mean, there's probably semi-legal screens on almost every trip down the court. Because you're not usually screening a stationary target. There's LaPanta shooting a three, but no good. And tried to force it into Bailey, but there was too much traffic there, and the Eagles get to steal. So Grace trying to get the lead back here. They've led most of the way, but Armstrong's last three put them ahead 22-21. Meyer driving and dishing. Now here's Hall for an open three. That one is short, and there's Bailey, another strong rebound, and then was fouled by LaPanta. And much like her counterpart Hanley on the other team, she's saying, oh, I thought I got mostly ball there.
They all do. You know, you make that foul and it's like, really, me?
Bailey trying to go to McGowan, but good help side defense there. It will stay with Armstrong, but if it wasn't for that help defender, that one probably would have been a layup.
Totino's been doing a really good job with that, with the help side down low on the bigs.
Inbounded to McGowan. She will look to attack and then throws it back out. Fisher has to retrieve it. Parsons to McGowan, down low to Bailey, and was fouled by LaPanta. And that one probably not a bad foul to take there. Bailey had a pretty close in look, and she hasn't fared well at the line either, so it will send Euphemian Bailey to the free throw line here. No good. Moraz coming back into the Grace lineup. And again, a violation on the free throw there, so it won't count. She actually had that one go in, but no go. I haven't been watching. They obviously are watching close, but that's something Bailey's going to need to shore up because that's the third time she's been called for it.
Well, and I know the last time she did it, he kind of talked to her and told her where he was seeing it. And I watched for her first free throw she missed, but I didn't watch on the second one where she was over the line.
Meyer driving and draws a foul, and that's something that Coach Pauly did tell us that Meyer has gotten better at. That she's kind of, always had the outside shot, but as she's gotten older and her game has grown, she's gotten better at that part. And sometimes when you're, not finding a lot of open looks from the outside, getting to the line is a good way to kind of get your game jump started a little bit too.
Well, I agree. It gives you a chance to, make the bucket, but possibly get to the free throw line too. And I've always told kids when your main go-to isn't there, what you really need to do is then maybe it's time to attack the bucket or create something different. You've got to shake it up and then go back to your go-to later on. Yeah.
In for Bailey here, and she was fouled as she got Hall on her hip. Second foul on Maria Hall.
Maria just kind of it looked like she wanted to go up and block it, but she got a little bit of Bailey when she did it.
So Bailey
I think what's happening is when she goes to take her free throw and she releases, she steps her right foot forward. So I'm wondering if that's what she'd been doing the last few times.
Yeah, I think so. And something you don't see called very often, but good officials are watching it every time. So if you get in the habit of stepping over the line, they're going to get it. And it's not, some people might say, well, they're being too touchy. No, you're either over the line or you're not.
Exactly. It's the same thing with the travel. Some kids will go, they never travel, and then in one game it's like 3 times in a row. And it's like, yeah, you're taking that extra step tonight.
Meyer with a little runner there for Grace, and they go back in front now, 24-22. 2:35 to play here in the first half. Meyer missed on the steal, but then ultimately they get a steal, 2-on-1. Meyer for Moraz. Fisher got a piece of it, but goes right back to Meyer. Bad break there for Armstrong, and the Eagles are up 4. Open look for Parsons for 3. That won't go. Fisher fought for the rebound, but the Eagles' Miller comes away with it. Meyer will stop and pop. Too strong with that one. And then McGowan chases it down. Bugan will bring it into the front court here for Armstrong. They are down by 4. 5 straight points now for Grace. And that entry pass wasn't really there for Bailey. And a bad turnover by Armstrong will give it back to the Eagles. Miller stops and casts one up. No good. Fisher rebounds. Bugan. Going to be a defensive foul, a blocking foul called there.
I think she got there, but I think at the last minute we moved our hips a bit. And that's where a lot of kids, well, I was there, I was set. They missed it at the end. They kind of shift their hips a little bit, and then that becomes the blocking.
Bugan's free throw is good. Looks like that last foul one on Jangerud. I thought at first they'd called it on Miller. So it'll be second on. Oh, no, they did change it on the board to Miller, so it was Miller. Second free throw, no good.
I've seen Lauren play before. Actually, I watched her play Park Center the other night, and they put her out there, and she stepped up and she hit several threes. So she's not someone to look past when she's out there.
Meyer, lefty runner. That one won't go, and Fisher grabs it. Fisher with the attack, but missed. Good strong move, but couldn't finish, and Schutz the rebound. So a 3-point lead here. 26-23 Totino-Grace our score. Just under a minute to play in the first half. Having some technical difficulties with our score bug for the moment. So I'll try and give you an update. Nice rebound grab there by Brigham for Armstrong. 45 seconds to go now as Armstrong hits the front court down by 3, 26-23. Parsons into McGowan. Nice move there to the baseline, but missed it. Brigham fighting for the rebound, but couldn't get it. 30 seconds to play as Meyer comes into the front court.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a few more plays like that with McGowan posting up and then taking it to the bucket, because I think that's a strength of hers.
Now 15 seconds. Looks like Grace wants to play for the last shot. They lead 26-23. 10 seconds. Dangerud giving it up to Meyer. Under 4 seconds now, and Meyer finishes. There's a senior type move. Take it all the way down. Looks like they might run out of time, but she gets just enough time to get that shot up and in and end the first half on a good note with a 28-23 lead for Totino-Grace. Meyer, for a moment, it looked like, well, she's just kind of stuck dribbling around out there, and then does that.
That was just, and it looked like as she was going through that crowd, it was like, are we losing control? And we didn't. She just stayed focused and was able to finish it off. Gotta love it when you end the half that way.
Kind of almost feels like more than one bucket right there as she gets the job done for her team to give them a 5-point lead at 28-23 heading into halftime. Let's go over now to Allie. She's with Coach Pauly.
Thanks. A lot of the points from Armstrong were coming in the paint in that first half. What kind of adjustments do you want to make? It's hard when you don't match the size, but what do you want to make for adjustments?
Yeah, we got into a little bit of foul trouble there, so I think we're going to continue to work through, both our man and our zone, and we just need to, play better defense, go straight up, make the adjustment as we see it.
Pretty good perimeter game for you guys offensively in the first half. Dengerud having some nice threes there for you. What do you want to do in the second half to keep that offense going, because Armstrong's right on your tail?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of sets in our pocket that we're going to, go to make sure that we keep finding our shooters and continuing to push the ball. I think that's our game too.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allie, and thanks to Coach Pauly. Obviously, she wasn't necessarily expecting to have to do this coming into today, so we really thank her for taking the time with us. We do wish Patrick Bolin well if he happens to be watching this evening as well. 28-23 Totino-Grace leading at halftime. We'll have first half highlights and also hear from Coach Easley of Armstrong coming up in just a bit. You're watching girls basketball from the Northwest Suburban Conference here on CCX Sports.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
And welcome back here to Totino-Grace High School along with Patty Sorensen and Allie Mosley. I'm Jay Wilcox. Totino-Grace leading Armstrong 28-23 here in girls basketball. And look at some first half highlights in this one. It was definitely a slow start offensively for both teams, but then things picked up and we saw some nice hoops as the game went on. And you see the shot banked in there, and then it's McGowan with the drive and miss, but Bailey, who's been big off the bench, back into the lineup with 3 first half baskets. McGowan getting one as well there, as she also scored 3 field goals for the Falcons. They briefly surged into the lead, and a little runner there by Rinoli, who comes off the bench with a couple of nice hoops for them, including this 3-pointer, as they got that to work a couple of times. The skip pass across court and screen for that shooter on the wing. For Totino-Grace, Leah Dengerud has been hot from the outside, as she has knocked down 3 3-pointers in that first half, and one of their top scorers coming in. And then you look at Meyer, who had kind of a slow start, but got herself going a little bit as well. Dengerud knocking down another one from the corner there. And they got out and run just a little bit later in the half. Kind of a fortunate bounce that time, obviously, as the pass got deflected back to Meyer. I don't think she can get an assist to herself on that one. And then right at the end of the half, Meyer just kept the dribble going, looked up at the clock and flipped it up and in, and you can see she was like, I had to do something at that point. So you see Dengerud and Meyer with 9 each to lead the Eagles, McGowan with 9, and Bailey 6 points, Brignoli with 5 points for the Falcons. We will take a timeout and come back here. We'll hear from Coach Easley and then jump into the second half of play here on CCX.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And welcome back here to Totino-Grace. Let's go over now to Allie with Coach Easley.
Coach, we talked about it before the game, how much having Bailey as a second inside presence was going to be a big factor tonight, and her and McGowan doing so good. How much are you liking what you're seeing there?
A lot. They play off one another well. They have good chemistry inside, so it's huge benefit to have both of them out there.
You guys have done a great job at trailing and then coming back, holding a lead there for a bit. How do you keep this close but then prevail through the second?
Well, big thing, we're doing a good job of attacking inside. We just got to finish off plays at the line once we do get fouled. And we gave up a couple threes there in the half. So do a little better job of defending on the perimeter and finish off plays at the foul line.
What's the best thing you guys have going for you right now?
Probably our interior play. So we can keep that going and keep attacking them inside. I think we'll be okay.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Allie, and thanks to Coach Easley. And definitely they have been able to create some damage and, a little bit of foul trouble for Grace too, and not extensively, but I think, the ability to do that, although as Coach said, you have to make the free throws once you get there. Savannah, who we see right there, she has done so. Her counterpart Bailey, though, has struggled at the line, including just some footwork stuff with being called for violations and missing those free throws. So, you add in those and they would be right there. But obviously, regardless, even if you're missing free throws, you still want to create that situation where you're putting pressure on the interior defense of Grace.
Exactly. You keep wanting to attack because you've got both those players in there right now that can rebound, that can attack the bucket, and they're getting to the free throw line. So I'd keep going. I'd keep attacking the middle right now and see how Grace was going to adjust to that and their defense and what they're going to do.
Armstrong later in the half had a little bit more issues of kind of maybe forcing balls that weren't really there. They need to be careful a little bit of that too, that you don't want to get so reliant on trying to get the ball inside that you throw passes that are and against the zone defense, sometimes that can be a little hard to read, especially for a younger player. From your angle, it looks like there's nobody there, and then a hand comes out of nowhere and gets a piece of it.
Well, and you've seen Totino change their defenses up too, and so them adjusting and adapting to what's going to happen there. And And it's actually going to be interesting to see what happens as it progresses, because Totino's starting to push more. That's what they want to do, and they weren't being able to do that as much in the first half at the beginning of it. Towards the end, they started to. So seeing how Armstrong responds to that, too, will be give us a lot to see.
Always fun to see what adjustments come here in this second half, and obviously you've got a lot of good coaches in this conference that, it isn't just coach them in practice and then go from there. It's game night changes and switches at halftime and throughout the game that really impact things too, because you've got a lot of good players on really every team in the conference.
Well, exactly, and it'll be interesting, like Coach Pauly says, they got to run some more of their sets to get their shooters open for the shots they want. So we'll see how Armstrong makes adjustments on defense to those two when they happen.
And Dangerud trying to keep up her hot hand from the first half, missed it, but they get another crack at it. And she dumps it down low to Sickink, and she was fouled. I think it'll be Fisher. And that will send Sickink to the line. Good unselfish play there. Sickink was really posted down low, and the outside shot was kind of there too, but they just dumped it down low for a closer look.
Well, and they did a good job with that too, and I think they have to. They're known for being good outside shooters, and they've got to still attack with their inside game to open their shooters up a little bit. But I agree with you. I thought that outside shot was open too, but it was fun to see her share the ball and move it down.
Second free throw is also good.
And then they get their teammates to the free throw line by attacking the rim also.
Eagles zoning here to begin the half too, and there's Sickink reaching out and stealing that pass. Down low for Hall though, and they turn it over. So both teams using some zone fairly effectively here and early in the half. I kind of like when teams are willing to switch it up a little bit. I mean, obviously you don't really want to go with the defense you have in practice, but I kind of feel like it makes it harder on the other team, but also maybe kind of gets your kids interested or eager when you know that you're doing something a little bit different, and you got to kind of bear down on that.
Well, I also think it keeps you a little defensively sharp, and there's some fun defenses your team has, and I always had kids that was like, come on, coach, can we play this defense now? And you love it when your kids want to do that.
And sometimes even if there's a lob into Bailey, a nice finish, even if it's just for a possession that it slows the other team down or makes them stop and think or turn it over or whatever, those can add up throughout the game if you confuse them enough times down the court. Fisher, the rebound, it spins out, and then we're going to have a foul on Bailey trying to keep it alive again on the offensive glass.
That last time Armstrong, before it came down and they lobbed it into Bailey, that's actually the pass they needed to get to McGowan last time. The pass before was just a little too flat. When you're feeding your bigs like that, you got to put it up in the air. Make them go get it. A little pressure up top on
Meyer driving it on the baseline, no good. Hall, the rebound, that won't go, and there is Bailey out of there with it to Fisher. Fisher stops and pops, but no good. Rebounded, though, by Hanley. And then a three knocked down by Parsons. Her first basket of the game. Armstrong's to within two, but a layup the other way for Dangerud.
Totino did a great job. They just kicked the ball out and they passed up and transitioned it very easily.
Don't get any time to celebrate a made three when you do that.
Time to celebrate those after the game. You got to get back on defense right away.
That's right. Here's Parsons. And in and out with that one. McGowan the rebound. She'll go to the free throw line. Besides, obviously having good size and its athletic ability, she has pretty good hands, too. Yeah. I mean, once she gets a hold of it, she generally is able to pull it in.
Well, and it's nice keeping control of it. If you get it in a lob, keeping the ball up high, not bringing it back down to them, then putting it up on the backboard or putting it in the hoop.
McGowan has been perfect at the line. She's now into double figures with 10 points. Mraz coming back into the lineup here for Totino-Grace. Sickink will sit down.
That's why with McGowan, what I'd like to do right now if I was there, I would be posting her up because she's not missing her free throws. So get her down there or get her to attack the bucket because we get a bonus. She can score and then she can get to the free throw line and finish for us.
And particularly for Armstrong team that overall is kind of a scoring challenge team, you know, the earlier you can get in the bonus, the better off you're going to be. There's a three from the corner by Anna Kaspers.
And that's what I liked this last time. Totino came down, they were patient with it, they moved the ball, and then she had a nice open shot.
35-30 lead for Totino-Grace. Parsons back out to Hanley. Fisher lobbing it into the lane to McGowan, trying to go even closer into Bailey, scores and a foul. Bailey, a nice catch in traffic, and then just powered her way through the contact there to finish. Kaspers will pick up the foul, and Bailey to the free throw line.
Well, I like how Totino's putting that defense out there. They're putting Annie Miraz up there at the top. She's got a nice wingspan. You got a player that can be a good wingspan up there on the top, pressure the ball, take away some of the vision of the passes. Just was unfortunate when it went down inside. They fouled.
35-33, jumper won't go. Wow, it's getting rough down there. McGowan out of the pack with that rebound. Parsons to Fisher. Now Hanley. Chance to tie or go ahead with a three here for Armstrong. They were down by 5 at halftime. They're down by 2 at the moment. Fisher for McGowan. Nice catch. Oh, it just rolled off.
And McGowan was calling for that the whole time. She told her to kick it over to Fisher, and then she posted up strong.
Dangerud with the layup. She showed her outside shooting ability in the first half, and this half showing her ability to run the court as she's gotten a couple of layups. 4-point lead for the Eagles. Fisher will swing it around. Parsons way off with that one, but Bailey there for the rebound. Couldn't get it to go. Fisher will get him another crack. Fisher shooting it up. That's too strong. Nice rebound there by Meyer. Meyer pushing the tempo here. And nice play by Fisher to get back and deflect that one. Hanley, jump stop there, had it blocked. And Hanley, though, comes up with it again.
There's a lot going on underneath those baskets right now.
Fisher short with that one. And Dangerud tracks it down. We're going to have a timeout taken here by Totino-Grace. And I think both coaches probably feeling like, yeah, we're getting a little away from what we want to do on occasion here.
Exactly. Both teams were just kind of running up and down, and nobody was getting a really good shot or getting a good rhythm on offense and getting into their offense. It was just too quick, and they both needed to settle them both down, regroup. Let's get back to our game plan.
Been a good competitive game, though. I mean, you look at, based on their records overall, and you might think that this one would be, especially on their home court, a Totino-Grace, win that they're going to get easily or something, but it isn't shaping up that way so far.
Yeah, it's a good game there. It's nice. It's going back and forth, and if you're Armstrong, you got Bailey back. That just gives you a whole another dimension, and both teams just got to go back. What was our game plan? Get back into our rhythm, move the ball, play our defenses, and
Eagles basketball here as Armstrong now into man-to-man defense. Hall attacks, but then McGowan blocked her path. Kaspers looking to drive it. Nice move, scores plus a foul. What a great play to knife through the middle and then cut back to her left hand there. And Kaspers will go to the free throw line with a chance for a three-point play. It'll be on Bailey.
Nice job.
McGowan,
there.
It looks like. I'm sorry, Penny.
Nice job on that. And she got it, I think, a little bit in the eye. She was rubbing her eye, but she made those free throws. Or that free throw.
7-point lead for Grace, and Armstrong turns it over. So Totino-Grace trying to go on a little run here as they have gone up 7, and they get the ball immediately back on a turnover here by Armstrong.
She just had that. She was looking for that screen, but they went and it left the top over here open for her. That's her shot.
Meyer giving it to LaPanta, who's back in there. Meyer will let it rip from the left wing. No good, and Bailey the board. Now Fisher ahead for McGowan. McGowan cut off, turns, and scores. That's a tough play to stop.
She's got a nice touch there.
Here's Dengerud again for the layup. 3rd time she's scored in an identical spot in this half. Across here to Parsons. So 7-point lead again for Grace. McGowan at the high post trying to go to Bailey. Too much traffic. Back out. Here's Dengerud for 3. It's short. Bailey had it, but then Hall ripped it away from her and then knocked out of bounds. Looked like Hall's arm was grabbed there. They didn't see it. And it'll stay Grace ball. It is not a game for the faint of heart inside right now. There's some battling going on.
It's getting physical in there.
Meyer popping free, but missed that one, and an over-the-back call there against Dengerud. As a good example there, Bergnoli, why you practice boxing out. She was giving up some size there, and chances are that it was going to be hard for her to really get a clean rebound, but she just did a great job of blocking out and kind of forced the defender to come through her to get to the ball.
Boy, I've always got my smaller people. It's like, you know what? If you get position and you hold it, you're going to get that board or you're going to get the foul. And some of my smaller people seem to have a lot of rebounds all the time.
Boy, and it's so important to get contact right away before that person has a chance to, kind of get a running start or you move around you. Just get your body into them. There's McGowan. Great pass, great shot, but just wouldn't quite drop.
She does such a good job of just keeping the ball up when she gets it and being able to turn and make her shot.
Meyer gets the pick and then keeps the dribble alive, but then rushed it a little bit and knocked out of bounds by Miraz. Really a nice hesitation dribble by Meyer, but I think she saw the presence of McGowan coming a little bit and rushed it.
And that can be a little intimidating sometimes. It's like you're making that attack and all of a sudden she's there.
Armstrong has gone a little bit cold now, 42-35 deficit. They need to get a couple nice possessions going here to try and get back. Instead, the ball is stolen. Miller ahead to LaPanta. I like the way they get in their offense quick. That ball's moving all the time. Baseline drive by Meyer, no good, but a foul. And Meyer, I believe, will go to the line for 2. I thought Fisher actually got away with a grab early on in that play as she started to drive the ball. And so Meyer to the line.
I really like how patient, they move the ball well, but how patient they are and they stick into their game plan. They stick into their offensive sets. As far as Totino-Grace, I like how they work together.
And you can tell by the way that they get into them that it isn't like, okay, where do I go now? What do I have to do? I mean, they look sharp in terms of they run through that. And obviously teams, you practice your offense, but sometimes people kind of go through the motions a little bit and that kind of thing. And there's a much-needed 3 by Parsons. Her second 3 of the half. So the lead is 6. Inside, no good, but Bailey, the foul, as Sickink will go to the free throw line. And let's see, that might be the 4th on E. Bailey. Nope, got him at the 3rd. There must have been another one that.
I think that's going to be an advantage for Totino. I think they need to do that. They've got their outside. shots, they've got their drives, but I think they got to hit their posts a little bit. I like that they did that last time, and she had the confidence to go against Bailey, because we've seen him a couple times be tentative around him, and she got to the free throw line.
Yeah, and Sickink is a good-sized player as well, 6'1" and strong, so certainly she's got the ability to do that. Here's some of the upcoming games we have for you here on CCX. Tuesday night, it'll be Maple Grove traveling across town to take on Hill Murray in boys hockey. And gymnastics coming up on Thursday as Park Center will be at home against Rogers. Cooper boys basketball team's having a pretty nice year, and they'll be hosting Benilde on Friday night. We'll have that one, and then next week, good one in girls hoops. St. Michael, Albertville, and Wayzata. Free throw good by Sickink. And she makes a pair. So Grace hasn't been to the line a lot, but they've been good when they have been there. So they lead it now again by 8, 46-38. Parsons to Hanley, and they quickly work it around the horn. Open look there, wouldn't go.
They are not leaving Bailey alone in there. They've got, they're fronting her, and they've got someone right behind the backside helping.
LaPanta down low to Sickink. Oh, they're going to count the hoop as she was fouled on the way in. It'll be on Brigham. Interesting one how this was going to be developed. I think it was a foul, but she definitely traveled also. So the foul, I'm surprised they counted the hoop in a way there, but she'll get it. 11-point lead.
You're right. I think the contact caused the shuffle, the travel there, but.
Nice steal by LaPanta. Ooh, and a big-time collision. Going to be an offensive foul.
That's interesting.
Another look at this one here.
Well, yeah, she kind of were both moving and then got set at the last minute, but we've seen that go the other way, and we've seen no calls on some of those sometimes too.
So Armstrong trailing by 11 here. Bernoulli across, McGowan back, Hanley. Bernoulli takes a look at a three there, that's no good, and Miller the rebound for Grace. Meyer back out. Sickink will shoot the three, and she buries it. Wow, Grace Sickink.
She can post up. She can hit the three.
Had a great second half here after being fairly quiet in the first. Bailey the catch, couldn't get it to go. Scores and a foul. Bailey, it might actually work out better that she missed that first one, because the second one she drew a foul. Mraz will pick it up. Boy, Sickink, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised because pretty much all post players seem to shoot threes now too, but then there's Bailey sticking with it, battling through the contact.
Totino had done a good job defending, and then that last time she got up her rebound, the one person went over instead of staying straight up, and that's exactly what they got caught.
Grace by a dozen. Dangerud is fouled there by Bernoulli with the push.
That's going to put him, I think, in the one-on-one now, isn't it?
Yep, bonus time here, 7:36 to go, and Grace got a lot going their way right now. They're up by 12, and they're now into the bonus, and they've shot free throws very well this evening. Only one miss.
You gotta like that when your kids can get to the line and put them down.
And Dangerud makes a pair. She has had a very nice night for them. 17 points now. 54-40, biggest lead of the game here for Totino-Grace. They have kept on scoring, and meanwhile Armstrong's kind of been a little hit and miss here of late. Here's McGowan. A triple team came at her, so she goes back out for Fisher for a three, no good. And Miller the rebound. Miller's probably the shortest player on the floor, but she seems to be getting her share of boards in there. Sickink will give it off. Here's Meyer for three.
Off that screen, beautiful shot.
Well, and Antoine Easley, he'll take a timeout here. I mean, he told us before the game, he said a lot of these games, we've been right there, we're in it, we're playing pretty competitively, and then we just have a little bit of a lull that costs us. And I mean, honestly, you're looking at this right now and you're thinking, oh, a comfortable lead for Grace here, and it wasn't that long ago, it was a 6-point game.
Well, and I think part of what happened is Totino started doing more of what they wanted to do all along as far as pushing the ball up, and I think that tempo wasn't working necessarily to the advantage of what really Armstrong wanted or was ready for. I think that tempo has worn Armstrong down a little bit. And then they're doing a good job too, Totino, of switching up their defenses, and it's disrupting them a little bit. And I mean, Armstrong's taken some shots that in the past you've seen those players make, and they're just not dropping too. So that's an unfortunate thing for Armstrong.
Yeah, they've been able to, kind of limit McGowan and Bailey's touches a little bit better here, I think, in the second half as well. Not that they haven't, gotten some things here or there, but I mean, McGowan just has one basket here so far in the second half. Although, at the same time, too, you can't count on just her and Bailey. They've got, other players that have stepped up at times. Certainly, Parsons has made a couple of threes in this half, but they just haven't gotten consistently as many good looks at the hoop as Grace has.
Right, and from multiple players. That's the whole thing. You need more than one or two helping you out to score.
Grace looking to trap the ball now out of this timeout. And that pass tipped by Miller. And there's where the kind of defense, you look and from the top it looks like the player's wide open, but it's a lot of, the ball's in the air for a while when you're throwing it that far, and then they're able to get a hand on it.
And Grace has been very active with their hands, in deflections and just being there.
Hanley will go to the line. The Eagles really kind of bailed her out there. That was not going to be a very easy attempt at all. Dangerud will pick up the foul. I think she kind of realized it too, like, oh, that wasn't really a foul I needed to take. Hanley gets her first point on that free throw as LaPanta comes back into the Totino-Grace lineup. And that one is wide right, and LaPanta grabs the board here. So Grace holding a 16-point lead. If you're just joining us, it's been much closer than this for most of the way, but here's Meyer with the floater. And boy, very early on in the game, she wasn't getting a lot of good looks and they weren't going in, but we've seen her score in so many different ways. Easy to see why that's, the leading scorer now in Totino-Grace girls basketball history, right?
Well, she's been able to create in so many different ways, and then watching her on defense. She's so active and a key component there also.
She kind of has the look of a player who maybe worked a lot on her game, in her driveway, or I don't know if driveway is a real thing to use anymore, but at least at the gym or at the health club or whatever, where she just worked on, situations herself, making all these different kind of moves. And then, of course, she misses right as I say that.
Yeah, but hey, she came up with a great steal down there, just being so active on defense.
And knocked down by Parsons, her third three of the half. So Armstrong certainly not giving up, but they are down 15 now, 5:40 to play. Miller had it knocked away as she went up. Fisher back the other direction. McGowan looking inside, but stolen away. Nice read by Meyer.
That backside help for Totino has been so active, and the post, it looks like wide open. They're sending it in. The backside has come along and deflected away many times.
Lauren Miller for three, and nothing but net. They are getting a lot of help from all over the place now as Miller burying that three. 62-44 Totino-Grace.
Well, and you know what's been fun to watch is Grace has gotten a lot of the players involved on the offensive side, but their defense has helped create that. I mean, every single one of those girls have had deflects, gotten in the passing lanes. They do a great job with it.
McGowan missing from the high post there. Look at Hanley trying her best to deny the ball to Meyer there. Here's LaPanta driving and just missed with the left hand.
That was a nice, confident drive.
And let's see, do we have a foul call on the way in, it looks like, on the baseline drive. So Hanley will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Hall will pick up her fourth on the hand check there. So Hanley to the free throw line. Bugan back in, as you see there, for Armstrong. Hanley short on that free throw, and it'll just bounce right out of play, and it'll be Grace ball.
Looks like Armstrong's going to put a little pressure on him now. See if they can create some turnovers.
Schlafer will inbound here for Grace. Schutz is back in as well, number 23. Now it looked like they weren't sure who, nobody had the first dribbler there. Miller, the handoff to LaPanta.
Oh, that was nice.
Nice dish, and the layup is good for Schutz. She'll get her first bucket, and a great assist by LaPanta there. 20-point lead for the Eagles. 3:50 remaining, and Grace gonna get a season sweep of Armstrong here, looks like. Wasn't easy for a lot of the way, but it looks like now they maybe are gonna pull away and put this into the comfortable win column. Dribble handoffs out high here. Miller will shoot up another three, this time short. LaPanta, nice rebound. And then the jumper won't go. They keep it alive again. Another opportunity, and Sammy Schutz puts it in. Her second bucket of the half. 66-44. Bugan across. Parsons keeps the dribble alive. Bank shot won't go. Got it back. Gives it to Bergnoli. That one won't drop. Dangerud getting into the lane. She'll stop and fire. No good, but a nice rebound to track it down there by Schlafer. Miller, a little trouble with the dribble, saves it in. And ball was tipped, so no over and back violation. Wasn't pretty there, but Grace does keep possession. Armstrong really pressuring, and now they'll be called for the foul. Hanley will pick up her third, so free throws upcoming here for Leah Dangerud, the sophomore, 17 points for her this evening.
Well, the way the night's been going, you really don't want to put Totino at the free throw line because they've been very successful there.
Free throw is good there by Dangerud. Fisher will check back in here for Armstrong, and Bailey has come in as well. Second free throw also good. Dangerud will check out. Casper's back into the Totino-Grace lineup. So much like for the 49ers in the Super Bowl, this one's going to feel like it really got away in a hurry from Armstrong, although it was a little different. They didn't have the lead, really.
Exactly.
But it went from being close to not so close, quite quick fashion here. Hanley dumping it into Bailey. Ball was knocked away. She keeps possession and scores. So that's been one good sign for sure for Armstrong, getting Bailey working her way back toward the full health after that fractured foot.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see her out here, and she does some great things. It's just going to take a little bit to get everything back to 100%. Like I said, she's been out for 2 months, and it just doesn't come back overnight.
Foul here went against Bugan. There was a nice block up top by Bailey, but Bugan banged into LaPanta with the body there, so LaPanta to the free throw line here. Free throw is good. Second one also good, so 4 points now for LaPanta, and it's 70-46 to Totino-Grace.
It looks like Coach Polly's going to come away with her first win as a head coach here, as the acting head coach.
Fisher steps in. Nice catch by Bailey. I don't think that we could quite go with an assist on that one.
I don't think so.
Bailey was ready for the air ball there. Casper is dribbling in. Coach Boland might be thinking, I don't know if I can get my spot back here. They come on. No. Hanley working hard. LaPanta, though, kept it around to Casper's. That one won't drop. Hanley out of there with it. Kept possession and scores. Boy, Hanley's still working real hard out there for Armstrong.
Well, and she just stayed with it. You know, and that's the thing Coach Easley said. He said, our kids are going to compete, and they're going to play until the very end, you know, and that's what you're seeing.
And Caspers was fouled there by Parsons. So 2 free throws upcoming now, 10th team foul there. And a very rare miss for Grace, only their second miss of the night. Boy, how big might that be in a playoff game? I mean, I don't know that they can count on shooting as well as they have tonight every game, but holy cow, they have really
big difference
converted
right
on
there.
points.
Yes.
I mean, compared to, we've seen some other games where teams, you know, maybe making only half or so.
Well, and think about a close game. You're going against them, and they're shooting like that, and you want to foul someone to get the ball back. Who do you foul? They're all making them, you know?
Bailey looking inbound. They got a little slow start getting into their set. Parsons, a very long three, and she hits. Alexa Parsons, 4 threes in the half, but it's going to be too little too late here for the Falcons. They're down 71-53. Down low with it, and the reverse layup is good for Schutz, and a foul as well.
Wow. I think she just threw it up hoping. I mean, it was funny how she came to, caught it, and just flipped her up there. Watch this. Oh, she did look, but...
Bailey's 4th foul, and Schutz hits the free throw, and you could tell her teammates love that. 7 points in the half here for her, 74-53. And a turnover there by the Falcons with 11 seconds remaining in the game. So Grace will win for the 11th time this season. They make the short journey to Spring Lake Park for a game on Thursday night. And meanwhile, for Armstrong that night, they will be hosting Park Center. And time's going to run down as Totino-Grace will be able to celebrate a victory here on parent night as they win it 74-53. And, you know, for a while, they kind of had trouble getting into a good flow, but boy, by the end, they were just, I mean, they were doing a lot of things well, shooting the ball well. As we talked about, free throw shooting obviously was a great thing for them tonight as well. And Eagles, you know, showing why they've been winning some games the way they played, especially down the stretch.
Well, exactly, you know, and that's what Coach even said at before the game and then at halftime again. You know, we got to push the ball. That's what we want to do, and I really think that was key, plus the adjustments they made on defense and how they were going to guard the 2 bigs for Armstrong. They did a great job. they weren't left alone. They were always doubled and triple teamed on them.
So a nice victory here for Totino-Grace as they pulled away from what had at one point been a very tight ball game. Armstrong was within 6 about, I think, midway through the second half, but Eagles kind of made it look easy in the end as they end up racking up a 21-point victory here this evening. Let's go over now to Allie with a couple of happy Eagles.
Hey, Jay, I've got Leah and Carla here. We're going to start with Leah. This game had a little bit of everything. At halftime, it was a 5-point game. You finish with over 20 points in the spread. What did you guys need to do in the second half that was able to cause that offensive separation?
We just need to go run through transition and go through all of our plays and fill every position and do the best we could.
Well, you had to do a lot offensively tonight as well. Your perimeter game was hot. What allowed you to be so successful offensively?
Always think positive thoughts and have confidence and never give up on myself.
What's the best thing you got going for your team right now? You got 5 games left in the regular season.
Right now we're just working really well as a team, and if we keep doing that, I say our season will go really well.
You did a great job tonight, Carla. You know, early on in the game, it was very obvious that 54 and 52 were causing problems down in the paint, but you guys made adjustments. What did you do so that you could come out victorious in the end of this?
Well, we actually started fronting them a little bit and had our help side help them in the middle because they were just so tall and we don't really have that much height compared to them, so we had to do that in order to stop them pretty much.
It's impressive to do, especially, when there's just not that matching height. And you guys also impressively won tonight without your head coach. What was that like playing without him here?
You know, that was a little different because we've never had that before. So we all had to adjust and play as a team, but our other coaches did a good job stepping in, and I thought we played really well together.
Getting the win tonight, you guys keep staying above 500, 5 games left in the regular season. What do you want to see out of your team as you guys close out the regular season here?
I just want to see us keep working hard, playing together as a team, and just our chemistry is really good right now, and I think we can do this if we just keep working hard.
It's a fun game to watch. Good job, Carla.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Allie, and congratulations to the Eagles on the victory here tonight. 19 for Dengerud, 16 for Meyer, and 12 for Sicking, leading the way for them. 17 points for Bailey, 13 for McGowan, and 12 for Parsons for Armstrong. Hope you've enjoyed this one. For Patty Sorensen, Allie Mosley, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Totino-Grace.